Spinning.
It's no. We're live, Dr. Art.
We're live. We made it.
It's Wednesday night, and see, look, the camera. I got to turn the camera a little bit. We got to turn it towards.
Yeah.
See, it's closer now, so we can make adjustments like that. Oh yeah. All right.
Oh, it's kind of
okay.
Backwardsy. Okay.
Yeah. Oh wait, what happened? Now what did I do?
You went too far.
I went too far. Okay. But maybe we could sit a little bit further apart from each other. Like, because you remember, like, with that other guy, he wanted to sit really.
You wanted to hug.
You wanted to hug. How is everybody doing tonight on this fine Wednesday? Sorry we were late. I got all the way here and I realized, oh my God, I'm out of tobacco, so I have to go all the way back to town to get tobacco.
They don't. Yeah, they don't sell it at
General
down the street, do they?
No, they don't. I have to smoke my own specific thing.
I know.
Mexican Spec welcoming Chango. Mil Makaiska. What's happening, man? Greasy Garage, Stang Lincoln, Fubar. Shadow Ops, Airman 1, yes. Greasy Garage, what's happening? Alan Atkinson, good evening. Mad Classics. No, there won't be a reboot. You know why there won't be a reboot? Because I sprung for the big $40-something and got a new webcam.
I mean, don't we look even more stunning?
Well defined. Exactly.
Yes.
I should have shaved and like maybe, I don't know. I don't care.
You don't shave.
Well, I
trim.
Well, I found a certain length that gives me the most amount of time between. You know what I mean? Okay. So and then I said I like run it out to the max. Now I gotta bring it back in.
All right.
So I get about 5 or 6 days. Right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It doesn't grow as fast as it used to. Like when I was like 11. You know what I mean? It was like. If I shaved, I'd have this in the afternoon, you know, like all the women in my family. Actually.
Yeah,
I'm Italian, sweet.
Right.
Yeah.
You and your sister set a beard growing contest. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like a morgue. Rob Allen, why does this really look like a morgue? It's hot in here.
Yeah.
Is that thing even pretending to work?
Yeah, it was. Well, it was moving before. It was oscillating. Now it's just there.
Let's see. I realized.
Hutchinson.
Yeah.
What were you reading?
I don't even know, bro. I just drifted right out of it. Cabello Cabarado. What's happening, brother? Good evening. What?
I found the Hearst T-Top 77 Diplomat. What?
Never heard of it.
It comes home in August.
That's a new one on me. I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Oh, there we go. Hit the button.
Let's see. Okay. Good evening, Cabello.
Yeah.
Would you drive a car powered by ethanol as a daily driver? No. Well, okay, wait. Here in the States. I'm from Brazil, and we have lots of them.
That's all they have down there.
Yeah. Now, I have absolutely nothing against alcohol-powered cars, right? It's fine. But you ask me, and I live in Tennessee, and we don't have like E85, for example. It's not available at every station, you know. So it's not it's almost like having an electric car now. You gotta go hunting around for it. So we don't have ethanol pumps here where you can just pull up to a gas station and get ethanol. So for me personally, no, I wouldn't even consider it.
Yeah, it's not convenient.
But if they had it, like if it was commonly available, sure, in a heartbeat, I'd use it in a heartbeat. Scoop says his stupid clock is wrong. Shoot it or something.
Yeah. Just throw it out the window.
Yeah. It's the lighting. Oh, what's wrong with the lighting?
What's changed? I think just because the camera is
the camera is in a different place.
Yeah, do we look dead?
I don't know. I can try a different setting.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We'll go full face, just like this.
Let's see.
We try a different tone.
Yeah. That's not bad, right? No.
Well, that's a little bit more better skin tone.
Is it?
Yeah. It's not so washy. Yeah, it's better. Oh, yeah, and down a little actually. Yeah, there you go, right there. I think that's good. You don't trip. Oh, you can trip now. You got a new camera.
Right.
Is that better?
But that seems okay.
Yeah. We'll go with this. This is what you get, folks.
All right. Greasy Garage says, I am totally burned out on cars at the moment. I'm just going to enjoy summer. Dude, unplug. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
You do stuff, you just keep going and going and going and going and going. And yeah, man, you get burned out. So unplug and then you'll attack it with a fresh perspective.
Yeah. I mean, we've all done that because it's been so hot. It finally broke today. The insane heat. It's still 90, but it feels nice.
It's just the humidity.
Yeah.
It's been very, very humid.
Yeah.
Charlton Zimmerman, I voted on your swinger video to keep Aunt Kathy, get rid of the swinging. Belinda Blinda Binder. Oh, okay, sorry, Mexican spec. Mr. B is just asking, just Dr. Art.
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah. Josh Human, it is good to have you here, Josh. Soul Survivor, what do you think of the old Fenton 5-barrel Predator carburetor intake manifold? I have never heard of it.
No.
I've never heard of it. Fenton was like a big aftermarket manufacturer. So the Predator didn't come around until the early 1980s. Before that, it was the Kendig and then the Predator. And Fenton was a big manufacturer from like the post-war until I think the last thing they did was wheels. So I thought that Fenton was gone by the time the Predator ever began.
Mr. Beast. Oh, he wanted to know how to get a hold of me. Email me at it's dr.artstuff@gmail.com.
Dr. Art's stuff.
Dr. Art's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. With a little dot and 2 S's and 2 F's. And then yeah, if you need the tune, I got the G pad on tonight because the Jeep just made me a lot of money this last month. And then the Magnum guys are starting to roll in with all theirs after I did a couple of those and got them all, kind of tuned in. Yeah, they're just crazy amounts of power out of them. So yeah, give me an email and I'll get you taken care of.
So far, I just heard that you were going to do a thing on the carburetors and include the Predator. No, I've told the story 1,000 times. I worked for the guy, Dale Barlett, who owned Predator carburetor. This was in 1991, I think, 1991 or 1992. And I spent a year putting a fuel funny car operation back together again after he got out of the burn unit. So while I was there, I was surrounded all the time with Predator carburetor stuff. So the race cars shared the same shop space with the carburetor thing. But at the time, I had less than zero interest in anything that burned anything but nitromethane. So all of this carburetor stuff was going on around me, and I had zero interest, and I don't know anything about them. And that's as far as it went. I was this close to Predator carburetors, but it just wasn't the right time. So that's as much as I know about them.
Scarlet Fire. My 1966 GTO, don't just leave it at my house. You don't need it anymore. Has an HD flex fan that sounds like a Cessna taking off, but it works good. Any quiet alternative I could use.
Well, if you're going to have a flex fan, you might as well have the flex that goes with it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So people know you're coming.
Throw a clutch fan on there, man.
Yeah, clutch fan or an electric.
Yeah, everybody likes electric, and electric is good. I got no problem with electric, but it's a little more trouble prone than just a simple clutch fan.
You get the factory GTO clutch fan on there.
Yeah.
Be much quieter. Like I said, if you get real tired of it, just leave the GTO at my house and just forget you ever owned it. And just walk away. It'll be just fine. Mad Classics. Do you know anyone who is a Hudson crazy? Have a 55 Rambler cross country wagon that I need to sell.
Huh. Not offhand, but it sounds like a cool vehicle.
Yeah. there's got to be, Hudson forums and things and groups, and just like anything.
But really, probably not here. I don't think we're gonna have a big Hudson. Why is it fading in and out like that? You notice it's getting brighter and darker, or is it just me?
No, it's this eBay camera.
Electronics Express.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which means I could have bought it on eBay for like $14.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
End of time. Tony, hate to say this because I've been looking for one. That Swinger out here would go for around $10,000. Bought one as a kid for $250 from the wreckers.
Yeah, I wouldn't have the. I don't have the.
You wouldn't have the heart to sell it.
No, I'm not evil enough to try to sell that car for $10,000.
It's, the camera makes it look nicer.
Yes. Everything is better on camera.
Right.
But not that car is not worth $10,000. It's absurd to think so. But I use that as the top range, from because people are going to say, oh, it's worth $8 million, and it kicks the average up. So the range between 1,000 and 10,000. Did you see the video I posted?
I watched your video. Yeah, I seen it. Yeah.
So that's a fair range, right?
Yeah. It's a decent car. It's not.
It's something that somebody could work with. You could drive it, and you could
drive it and just drive it and be happy.
Or you could do that too.
Just go
arrest the deterioration and keep going.
Yeah, some rentals fix it and keep going, and just something to putz with. But it's basics of that car are good.
Do a raffle on the Swinger? No, I don't want to do that.
You're not gonna, if they buy for every $5 of merch they get a ticket.
No, I don't play that game. I don't play that game. No, I'm not gonna try and milk people. It's if
you want the car, buy it.
If you want the car, buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. B's interesting things. Tony, when are you going to do a prepper stacker channel? I will do neither a prepper nor a stacker channel because I'm neither a prepper. Well, okay, I have preps, right? Obviously, right? I'm a stacker, but not an avid stacker. I've already kind of stacked whatever I wanted to stack. But let's call it alternative history. I would like to do an alternative history channel, and how everything affects current events. And I'm actually working with that. My friend Adam. In fact, we were supposed to talk today, but my head's been in another place. But it might be coming sooner than you think.
Sixth Street Garage, howdy.
Okay. The Mexican spec. How can you sell the car you give to Zero? I told Zero that if he came to Tennessee, if he moved to Tennessee, I'd give it to him. But he's not moving to Tennessee, and I can't hold on to it forever. Barracuda, Freiberger. I'm his favorite person in the world. Did some dyno testing with different types of fans. It was surprising how much power loss there was from some, including a very lightweight plastic one. Yeah, the lightweight plastic one, it murders power. And honestly, you'd be surprised, or I was surprised when I saw that, how much that fan. Did you see that test?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have any. There was no real rhyme or reason to me, because when you watch those fans in action, they do flatten out just like any other flex fan. But I guess it takes more effort to flatten those. I don't know.
There's more consistent pitch out of the plastic. Who knows?
I don't know. But yeah, I saw that and I was fascinated.
Either that, or they weren't selling plastic fans at times, so the dyno numbers went down.
Yes, that's possible too.
But look at this fan that they sponsor us. It makes more power when you put it on your car. Yeah.
That was like when they did that shootout between the ignition systems. They had the stock single point distributor, the HEI, and then the hot rod HEI.
Yeah.
And it was Axel that made the hot rod HEI,
mm-hmm.
and the stock single point distributor outdid it.
Everything.
And they were trying to make excuses
Yeah.
for why that happened.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell it was like, oh, this is an embarrassment. But for once there was honest journalism involved, and they actually
Right.
printed
They
the
weren't
dyno
just
sheets.
selling a product like
Right.
it's magazine after you left the industry. That's all they did.
Oh, please, it was terrible. I was always fighting. I was always fighting the system, man. Always fighting the system. Scoop, Tennessee sounds like a nice state. It's not a liberal shithole like my state.
It is nice.
Socially, Tennessee is a lot more liberal than you would think. But that's socially. So in other words, like Tennessee is one of those places where it's like, guys, just be yourself. Don't bother anybody. You know what I'm saying? Don't put your stuff on anybody else, but feel free to be who and whatever you are. But we're extremely conservative as far as constitutional type of values. It's like
The way things are run.
we're a liberty-oriented state. So yeah, this place is fantastic. I couldn't imagine living anywhere else at this point. See, Uncle Tony, Libertarian for the win. I'm not a Libertarian. I align with Libertarians, but I don't consider myself to be a Libertarian.
That didn't take long. I figured it would go. People be talking politics soon because of what happened.
Yes. Did I tell you what happened?
With your filming, yeah. It's gonna happen. Weird stuff.
Hey guys, when are you gonna have an open house cruising night? Hey, do you remember that song? Oh God, it was from when we were kids. It was called I think it was Johnny Mathis. The 12th of Never. Until the 12th of Never. Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's when the open house.
Do you remember that song? Oh no, completely unrelated.
Yeah, nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Yeah. As I feel is holding up is lots of pictures of the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Google the Statue of Liberty picture.
A lot of people aren't ready for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of people are not ready for that. So
yeah.
know. But that's what the other channel. That's what the thing I'm going to do with my friend Adam. That's what that's about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most people are not ready for the. Definitely not.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have to call up Mr. Jerry 455. I'm still at the office, but got your channel with my headphones on.
Scoop is saying a brunette girl behind. I saw that before. I saw that when I was watching it, and I was like, that girl. Why does she look to the side before the shot? Because she holds up a sign that says something, shoot something or don't shoot something, whatever it is. She holds up a sign, looks to her side, and after she looks to her side, the shot comes. And it's like, wait a minute. And then she doesn't react. She just picks up a phone and starts filming. I'm like,
I didn't catch that.
oh, you didn't catch that?
No.
Oh, shit.
I haven't had time to deep dive into the conspiracy of all of this in the last couple days.
Oh, dude, there's almost too much conspiracy.
Right. But, the one thing I did notice that how a loner, nobody 20-year-old has a $12,000 rifle.
Or knew that there was going to be an unguarded rooftop and knew that there was going to be a ladder there. And
yeah, conveniently could climb up. Yeah.
Yeah, please.
2 hours from
It's
home.
it's
Yeah.
bizarre.
Burning yourself down again.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not bizarre that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's bizarre that they expect you to believe that it happened the way they say it.
Clayton's Toolbox, you can take this one. What is your method to set ignition timing for a drag race performance without going to the drag strip or a dyno?
You really can't. You can't because the amount of lead. Okay, so the amount of initial that you need. It dictates is dictated by the traction characteristics of your car. So, in other words, like let's say you're setting it. Let's say on the street. Okay, the most you can take initial is 12 degrees, right? Or 14 degrees, right? Where you hit it at that point, it just spins the tires. But now you stick this thing to the track and you hit it with the same initial 14 degrees, and it doesn't go anywhere. It actually bogged the car down. Okay, because now the car's stuck to the track. So it's going to take 18, 20, 22 degrees initial to get that same hit. So you can't, the two don't transfer to each other. Does that make sense?
Yes, because you have to tune it to the track in the car. You're not really tuning, total advance to the engine.
Right.
Because you have too much torque down low, all you're going to do is spin and lose. Now, I got to ask you something too. Did you see Jamie's video? He's actually building an old school, like, dedicated drag car for himself.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh.
No, when did he post that?
I think yesterday or today or something like that. But
okay, I really haven't been watching any videos of him.
Oh, okay. But I thought that was kind of.
So Jamie at Dead Dodge Garage is building a dedicated old school drag car.
And he's using like an old Barracuda, where you have to like run a single. It's weird.
That's okay.
Yeah, you can get around that. Yeah.
Well, fender well headers on that car.
Yeah.
Probably. Let's see. Zach Stoddard. Built and broke in my first engine. Small block Chevy, 3-3 stroker, hydraulic flat top cam. Had a few older fellers tell me it was misfiring or running on 7. What are some telltale signs to recognize that? Spit.
On the header pipe.
Yeah, on your finger, right? So fire the motor up, right? That's assuming that you don't have like a $12 heat gun that you could use and point it at the, but just on the fly, right? If you just happen to be screwing around and you want to know real quick, this is the hit on all 8. Just spit on your finger and touch the header tube. And if you feel it sizzle, it's firing. And if you don't feel it sizzle, it's not. And that's the easiest, simplest way to tell. After a while, you start to do that just out of reflex. Like the first thought on an engine, if I even suspect that it doesn't sound like it's hitting on all 8, but and you.
Yeah, spray bottle, heat gun, finger.
Yeah, you can do the spray bottle too, but again, it's like that's not on the fly. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, he's like, yeah, right now.
I'm talking about right now on the fly because the squirt bottle is, well, just go get the heat gun at that point.
Yeah.
Start pointing in its cylinders. Is Jamie here?
Yeah, he is. Go back. Dead Dog, 66 Barracuda, 273 with dual 4s.
Federal headers and obligatory. Oh, nice.
And he's building another 4-speed car. What a man.
He's my hero.
Forget the automatics and everything like that. Let's bang gears and break shit.
After I die and I come back, I want to be just like Jamie. I'm going to follow his.
Mm-hmm. And then you got, look at that.
Oh my God, a super chat. Thank you, Jimmy Luce. Our quality aluminum heads are durable on the street with a mild build as cast iron. Okay, I'm sorry, brother. I got to read that again. Our quality aluminum heads durable on the street with a mild build as yes they are. Mm-hmm. Can I get 100,000 miles out of the tail like factory? Yes, but beware of. Okay, so the thing with aluminum heads is the seats. A lower quality. I am sweating like a pig. It's hot in here, bro.
You haven't been acclimating yourself to the weather like I have. I'm like in comfort. Yeah,
Are you really?
Yeah, your air conditioners do suck though.
They suck.
Your landlord.
My landlord was here yesterday.
He lied.
Yeah, I think he was just pretending. John, were you just pretending that it was comfortable in here?
Yeah. Well, he works outside all day. He comes in here. He's like, I'm out of the sun. It's nice.
The thing with the aluminum heads is some of them are prone to the seats falling out, seats dropping out. So research when you buy your heads, right? And it's not a matter of, it's a Chinese head or it's a whatever head, right? I think they all come from the same friggin' places. Make sure that, 2 things to make sure of, right? Do research and make sure that the type of head that you're buying or the brand of head that you're buying isn't prone to valve seat issues. And pay attention, like those Edelbrock heads. The Edelbrock aluminum heads, what do they call them? The cheap ones.
Oh, the E Streets or whatever.
The E Streets.
Yeah.
They tell you, I never, it's crazy. It was crazy to me when I first heard about it. They tell you can't run a roller cam on them, right? And I go, what kind of head can't you run a roller cam on? Those things, because evidently the closing, the way a roller cam just drops the valve closed, creates like enough of a pounding or enough of a vibration on the seat that it falls out. So they tell you specifically in the instructions with those heads,
don't
roller cam, no bueno.
Our heads are marginal. Don't run a roller cam.
Yeah. So
yeah. Oh, you got
Landon.
Look at.
Thank you, Landon.
Yeah, I appreciate that. What's going on, buddy?
Uncle Tony's question, do you not like personal liberty? I hate personal liberty. I don't want to have any personal liberty in my life at all, damn it. Where would you get that from? Zafil?
71 Jensen Interceptor 383. If I install a supercharger on the stock motor, what's the safe horsepower to cap it at?
What did he do?
He's got a 71 Jensen Interceptor.
Okay.
With a 383.
Okay.
Put a supercharger on it. He wants to know how much he can bang on it until it goes bye-bye.
I don't know. I mean, so it's steel bottom end 383, and the 383 it'll take 382 take more abuse than a 440 will. I don't know though, bro. Couldn't give you an answer. Those cars are unreasonably freaking heavy, so you have to take that into account too. You know, the heavier the car, you know, the less, you know, oof that thing's going to take before something gives. So I don't know. I couldn't really give you a good answer. Let's see. Ari's in the house.
Nice.
I want to buy a set of those aluminum camel hump heads they make. Do they?
Why?
Well, just I guess maybe so somebody could like say put them on a sleeper
and
type of car,
paint
them orange, and yeah,
say, yeah, it's a factory small valve.
That'd be pretty cool, actually. Oh, Jake be doing stuff. Thank you for the super chat. I sent Bananas an email about buying the Dart. I would love to have that car, and we keep it true to the UTG spirit, carb, points, ignition, etc. Long-time subscriber, viewer. I'll have cash in hand in a few days. Jake, I mean, the only thing I can tell you is that I have to stick by what I said in the video, because we already laid it out, and like 20,000, 30,000 people have already seen it, and I'm going to stick to that. We're going to take all of the numbers that people throw in there, throw out anything under 1,000, throw out anything over 2,000, average them out, and that's the price that we're going to put it on Facebook Marketplace for. What can I tell you? I mean, I hope you get it if you really want it, but that's the only way that I can.
The price on Marketplace. Minus is $20 super chat. So.
Yes, I'll give you definitely. Without
you get a refund on your $20.
You get a refund on your super chat.
That applies to everyone in the house if they all send a $20 super chat.
Yeah,
and you buy the car.
Shirts and hats for your whole family too.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
Ari, the deal was I would give the car to Zero if he moved to Tennessee, but he hasn't done it, and I can't keep this thing forever. I'll send him more stuff. Richard Stanberry, random thought. I saw a retired engineer who built a 48 Cadillac that he could change the tire while going down the road. It had a shower and a microwave too. Have you ever seen the crazy Arab guys?
I think I have.
I don't know what this
where they're on two wheels and they're hanging out and yeah.
I don't know where you'd find this, right? But I've seen.
And
this is a thing
from a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a thing that they were doing in some Middle Eastern country. They find the video of this. You guys somebody find a video of this stuff. Put a link. they would drive the car. They drive the car up on a ramp and get it on the two side wheels, right? So you've seen cars like that where they drive on the side, okay? And there'd be like 4 guys in the car, okay? So once they got the car up on the side, 2 of them would climb out and start changing the tires. And they would do it as they're going down the road at like 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. And they're
On 2 wheels.
on
Yeah.
2 wheels.
Yeah.
And they're changing the tires on the thing.
That was a long time ago. That's like you're going to have to dig deep in the YouTube annals for that one.
I guess. Well, Mike, I guess I'm not the only one who saw it. Mike Boger says they do that in Dubai.
Okay.
Let's see. Barrows. What's going on, Barrows?
Hey, Kim.
That dark video was pretty cool. You get a real-time view of prices nationwide. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Real 50-inch DLP. Up here in Albany, New York, that dart would be $20,000. No joke. 2 words, no rust means everything up here. Anybody who sold that car for $20,000, as far as I'm concerned, belongs in prison. It's that simple. It's that simple.
But you can come down to Tennessee, buy the car,
Yeah.
drive it back,
Feel
and
free to do it yourself,
take your
man.
luck. Yeah, that sounds like a good profit opportunity. Come on down with cash.
What's this? Made Classics. I have a buddy in Ohio also that has a 70 Chrysler New Yorker sedan 444 4-valve for $1,500. Solid. Oh, you know, that's a nice car.
A big New Yorker like that? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That was like, listen, man, that's like the pinnacle of C-bodiness. Those fuselage body, fuselage style C-bodies. And that 70. Oh, that's a nice car. That's a really nice car.
Sorry.
What was that?
Tony, since you're getting rid of, it went away. We got another Mr. Jerry. Look at this.
Oh, Mr. Jerry, thank you. Just someone to super chat his. Cheers.
Everyone learned from Jerry.
Jerry, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's see. Med Classics. Kathy will have the picture I have in her inbox. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Scarlet Fire. How to spend $10,000 in 14 seconds. Take your muscle car to the corner with a drag strip. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
And so usually the oiling system. It's usually an oiling system deficiency to get you. Because and that was so typical back in the day, right? You have your 3-3 4-speed Roadrunner, and you run this thing around in the street all day, right? Day after night after night, going stoplight to stoplight and beating it up and everything. And it's just fine. It takes all the abuse in the world. And then your buddy says, hey, I've got these old 7-inch cheater slicks. Why don't we put them on your car and take it to the drags? And you do that, and then you find out why the oil pan and the middle sump and all of that aren't the best idea, because it spins.
That extra 5 seconds of full RPM.
Oh, not even that.
Yeah.
Not even that. So once you launch it, right? The shallow, the 5-quart oil pans they put in the regular high performance cars, not the 6-quart oil pans. They're not baffled very well. Okay?
So everything goes to the
Yeah. So you by the top of first gear, like into second gear, it starts oil starvation, and it always spins the number 6 rod bearing. How many of you guys have had big block Mopar failures, and it's always the number 6 rod bearing?
Bill McKay's guy.
Oh, thank you, sir. I think $3,000 and $3,500 is fair for the Swinger. I wouldn't sell it for less than $2,500, and wouldn't buy it for more than $5,000. Yeah, I'm not going to say what I think. I'm not going to throw a number what I think is a fair price for the car, just because I don't want to influence, But I think you're about right there.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to admit now, that was the most honest car ad or car description you've ever seen. Okay. There is one thing I forgot, but I'll bring it up in the next video. But it's not a big deal compared to everything else. Anthony Perna, what's happening, brother? Portal 8208. No way. Anybody saying that a car is worth less than $7,000 has no idea what these cars are worth right now. Absolutely crazy. It's not 2013 anymore. The price of the dollar isn't what it used to be. Oh, nobody knows that better than I do. Absolutely. But bro, it goes both ways, okay? Because the cost of straightening out one of these cars has gone exponentially higher, okay? So, you know, in 2013, you buy a $5,000 car and, you know, $10,000 worth of readily available parts will get it pretty well straightened out, okay? Now, that same deal, you're going to spend $20,000, $25,000 for those same friggin' parts.
And those parts are going to suck.
And the minimum, and the parts are going to suck. So, okay, so I don't care. You're talking about the base material. Now, what is it going to cost to put that base material into? The only cars, where are you, Portal? Portal, the only cars that are worth any amount that are okay, over in the landscape of cars, okay, strictly from an economic standpoint, the only cars that should be appreciating right now and will appreciate in the future are the ones that are bone stock, dead stock with as many original parts as possible. Okay, those are the ones that are going to appreciate. Cars like this Dart, they're going to get harder and harder and harder and harder and harder to bring into, let's say, the kind of shape that most people would want. Does that make any sense?
But that would, I mean, but the Swinger would be a fantastic car for a 16, 17-year-old kid who wanted to get it.
Yes.
Because he'd have, you could do all the work.
Mike, well, I didn't hear in the video, are you getting rid of the carry van or the wrecker? The carry van's been gone. I got rid of that last year. And the wrecker stays because it's a valuable tool to me. I use it occasionally and I can't replace that. So no, that stays. Los Cadaver original parts that are in decent shape. Yes. Rusty fuel, but most people don't know the cost or restoration. Yeah, but see, that's what I'm here for. You know, to let you know it's getting harder and harder and harder, and try to steer you guys in the right direction, and try not to rip off people by representing a car as something that more substantial or worth more than it actually is.
Been on the other side of those videos. Yeah.
Portal is saying, I hear you, but honestly, it's hard to find decent rollers for $3,500, $4,000 anymore. I paid $4,500 for a 68 roller 4 years ago with no interior and still think I got a fair deal. But yes, but here, listen to me. It's just like this. Okay. I literally just had this conversation last night with Kathy Bananas. Okay. Because she wants to pick up a camper thing so we can hit a couple of the dog events, right? And just take the dogs. And all right. So I said, look around for a camper. And she told me, oh, these things are expensive. And I was like, first off, wait until after Labor Day. But secondly, the trend on the prices of used campers and new ones, but especially used ones, is going to go down and down and down and down and down until you finally get people like, get this thing out of my driveway. I can't, because they got their stimmies 4 years ago. They bought everything that they could possibly buy. Everybody wanted a camper. Oh, let's go get a camper
and a toy hauler and this and that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they go and they buy this thing, right? They got the cheap, the middle of the road cheap one for like $18,000 to $20,000, and they used it once. And then they found out that it's not nearly as much fun or as adventuresome as they thought it was.
This hauling a 40-foot enclosed trailer is not fun. It's on a relaxing weekend adventure. Yeah, it's not.
So as things get tighter and tighter, and people have a harder and harder time paying just grocery bills and electric bills and insurance bill and all these other things that are just getting more and more expensive all the time. Stuff like extraneous things, campers, rollers, okay, or project cars needing a lot of work. Those prices are going to come down until finally you're going to get that $4,500 roller that you paid for. You get to a point where somebody's like, hey, I'm up against it. I'm 3 months behind on my freaking mortgage. I can't pay the insurance. My wife's car is out. You know what? Give me what you can for this thing. You got $300, take it. All right. It's going to come to that. It's coming to that right now. Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind when you're dealing with all of these cars.
Have your cash ready and be ready to pounce because it's going to happen quick. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Zafio, Uncle Tony's Garage just sent you a link to the vehicle that didn't sow any opinions. Bro, I don't have. This is gonna sound crazy, okay? I don't even have the password to the. That's Kathy. I keep myself deliberately ignorant. I don't know I can't even get into the Facebook, the Uncle Tony's Clutch Facebook thing. I have no idea. So if you want to send it to Dr. Art, who isn't nearly as paranoid or reclusive as I am, then he could show me. So Dr. Art's
Dr. Art Stuff with dr.artstuff@gmail.com.
Yeah, send it there, and I'll take a look at it. Stray bullet, even brand new RVs leak water. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Bad Chad has a kick butt old school camper for sale. That's what she wants. She wants an old Airstream or what's another one? There was the Airstream, the Shasta, the old Shasta.
Oh, the Shasta motorhome.
Yeah. She wants something like that, and I'm telling her I don't want to deal. I love those things; they're cool,
but it's madness to try to keep them up. Yeah,
you have to love them, right? You really have to love them, and I don't love them that much.
Who loves a trailer? Yeah,
some people do.
Yeah,
some people live in them. They've got that nomadic spirit, so they're like.
I got friends that live in Florida in a converted school bus. In Pensacola, they're like, la la la, our house is paid for. Yeah, rent's $400 a month at the spot. Yeah,
they're not dumb.
No.
Patricia Gordon, how did the welder charge batteries hold up? I kept that battery around for about, I don't know, 5 or 6 months, and it worked fine. And then my friend John Wilburn was visiting, and he needed a battery then and there. And I said, here, take this battery toward your car. And as far as I know, it's still out there. It's still out there doing its thing.
It is Honda.
Yes, but that battery worked. That battery worked really well. I just don't know what's become of it since.
Right. I don't. Elaborate on this, Ryan. Doctor, how much would the Duster be worth if it were 2 or 3 level?
What Duster? The Duster's gone.
Yeah,
I sold the Duster. I got $5,300 for the Duster.
It's 5,300 happinesses, isn't it? To get rid of that thing.
Oh yeah, I was thrilled. My backyard is like, because you gotta understand, right? For the first time in my life, I really want to just live like a regular person. It took me a long time. I had to go through many sicknesses. But for the first time, like I want a nice backyard, right? I want like, I want to live like a human. It's crazy, I know. So I'm thrilled to get that car out of my backyard.
And what is? I'm going to ask you a question. Did the Honda trial thing? Did it just go bing? I need you, and pulled it off the guy's shelf at the yard sale, or?
Oh yeah, no. I went there to buy. They had a bunch of old crash helmets for $20 each.
Oh, just for display. Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah. So not just for display. I love that bubble. That's so cool. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, I wear that in a heartbeat. And I would wear this one, except the inside of it all
is all eaten up.
Is all eaten up. But I like the old school helmets. So I went there and I bought a couple of them, and the trail stuff was sitting there. So.
And he wasn't even. It was just like he wasn't even planning on selling it.
No.
And you're like, how much for that? He's like, oh, the guy gave me money for that. Yeah.
You want it?
No, I don't want.
No, I don't want.
I got so much. There's so much
stuff. I would
give
it to you if you want it.
I appreciate that, but I don't want it.
Okay. Yes, stray bullet. Tony's making room for sheep. Yeah, I'd like to be able to do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Guys, I've paid my dues. I've been there. I've done it. I got so many of the T-shirts, and now I want to do normal person stuff before I drop dead.
Does when you want a friend to run around nuts, ask?
How is Misty? I haven't met her yet.
Yeah. Well, she's all like healed up, and it's her house now, and we're her people and stuff like that. And now it's
Nice.
Yeah, she's cool. She's a good dog.
Let's see. You meet the nicest people in a Honda. You certainly do.
Anthony, will you sell Mrs. Landy?
No. No, I'm going to keep Mrs. Landy.
We're going to get classy and smoke drum.
It's no good. The Bugler, I've tried all of them. Bugler is the best, like by a big margin. I can never this guy's name, man. X-War. Tony, I bought a Ratty 85 Rago 1000 for $400 for parts for my other bike. Sat outside for 10 years, put some gas in it, and it runs and rides good. Now I don't know what to do with it. Don't you hate when that happens? You buy something for parts and it turns out to be pretty cool.
Throw some tires on it and drive it.
Yeah. Yeah, for $400.
Yeah, and if it ends up you're in one part of the world and it's up a tree or something like that, just walk home.
Yeah, I would say have fun, man. Or flip it. Right now there's a big market for cheap, good running bikes. So you got a title and all the other shit. Mm-hmm. It's halfway street worthy. Get some goats. No, you can't really herd. Can you herd goats? You don't herd goats.
No, goats have attitude.
Right.
Sheep are just like, nah, where do we want to go? Okay.
Okay. Oh, it's Ron Ward. What's happening, brother?
Yeah.
All right. He sent you the email.
All right. We have technology.
All right. He said he sent the email. What would you have been if you care to play that game? Okay, let's find out.
Nope. Hadn't made the jump yet. Sorry.
Russ Peter Derlicks. Tony, is it weird for C-body cruiser? I prefer 3D3 two-barrel for smooth reliability. Yeah. Well, the thing is, right, there really is no difference between two-barrel and four-barrel. That was one of those things, right? It's like it was pointless to have a two-barrel and a four-barrel version of the engine, because if you're just cruising around on the primaries of four-barrel, you're literally just on a two-barrel carburetor. So it's kind of like just a gimmick. It was like an upsell. Oh, you can have a four-barrel carburetor with all the stuff that goes with it. So the two-barrel carburetor on a 383 is a false economy. You get the same exact throttle response and fuel economy and everything else with a regular four-barrel. But the flip side of that is that if you really don't care how it accelerates, full throttle and all of that, and strictly a cruiser, then yeah, man, I wouldn't mess with it.
This is what he sent: a 72 Buick Skylar with a 455,
right,
a turbo 350 and a 10 volt.
Just needs paint. $7,100
from Minnesota. Just needs paint. Sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's not right. The quarter window doesn't look right. That's a Chevelle quarter window. What the hell's going on there?
Yeah, 72 should be.
Okay, what's the catch? Because it looks to me like there's something about this car that isn't right.
It is it's a post car, and that's got the weird window, but it does look strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, that profile doesn't look right.
But for $7,000, no, no. Maybe like for 5,000. Although that was like a nice complete deal there.
Yeah, stock 455.
It's not all butchered up.
No AC, boo. Need AC here, sorry. Yeah, I mean, somebody.
You know what? You have to show it to them because they have no idea. We're looking at this and they have no idea what we're talking about.
It's gone.
Where is it gone?
We can bring it back up.
Yeah, bring it back up and show the camera.
All right, that's Jamie's car he's building.
Don't spoil it for me. I'll watch the video when I go home.
All right, we'll go back and we'll pull that back up. Phil. It's like it's our little secret. Hey, yeah. All right, and here's.
Oh, okay. He's saying 5,000 was his limit. Okay, so yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah. And it's that rear quarter window looks strange. But maybe we don't know our Skylarks like we should.
Just something looks odd about it.
Yeah.
Anthony Perna, Tony, I'm looking at a 72 Satellite 4-door. Looks solid, but I haven't really dug in. They usually are. It looks fairly original inside, but the bench is torn. Is it worth $3,500? And what should I look for? Yes, I would say it's definitely worth $3,500. Okay, so those 4-doors. Now I can't speak for all cars, right? But the 4-door Mopars are less prone to rusting than the 2-doors, and the reason for that is that a lot of the rust that happens in the rear quarters and over the wheel openings on a Chrysler product, 2-door Chrysler product, is from water that gets in between the body and the back window, right? So as you're driving down the road, going 40, 50, 60 miles an hour in the rain, you're going through the rain, and it gets forced between the glass and the quarter panel, right? They put there's a very ineffective seal there. So over time, dirt builds up in there. Every time you drive through rain, the water gets in there. And I found this out literally by driving in the trunk of the car, having somebody drive. I got in the trunk, and I had a car, and I could not understand this when I was a kid. I couldn't understand why the trunk was always wet anytime it rained. And I changed the trunk seal. I can't figure that one. But every time it would rain, the trunk would get wet. This was it might have been a Roadrunner. The kind of car is irrelevant. So I got in the trunk with a flashlight. It was raining out. I got in the trunk with a flashlight. I had my buddy drive the car. And that's when I saw what was happening. The water he got up to regular speed, 40, 50 miles an hour in the rain. The water was just unrestricted, just blowing in between the space between the top of the quarter and the wheelhouse, and all rushing down on the inside and gathering in the drop off. And that solved the mystery for me. It was like, why do these cars always rust in these places? They always rust in the in the section of the quarter right in front of the wheel. They always rust above the wheel opening, and they rust down at the bottom. Well, that's why. Now, a 4-door car doesn't have that opening because it's sealed, right? You see what I'm saying? So the wind hits the rain hits the back window of the door, but it can't go any further into the trunk area. And so that's why 4-doors are much less prone to rust than the 2-doors. So I don't even know how we got started on that.
He asked if his 4-door was a good buy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I run off on these freaking tangents, and I don't remember what the hell I was talking about. Let's see. Pick one.
That's where we're looking. Okay, Marjorie Harvey. Hey, Tony, I'm kind of new to the classic car buying thing. Just wanted to ask what's something to look for to keep in mind when going to look at a car.
63 Impala.
63 Impala.
Nice cars.
Look out for your wallet.
You compete with lowrider guys and stuff with that car.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna pay a lot. You're gonna pay the premium. The Chicano cool premium for that thing.
Yeah, but it's a pretty car.
Oh, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. What should you look for in that car?
Rust on the X-frame.
Yeah. Well, okay. It's not really so much the X-frame that rust. It's the area where the X-frame isn't.
Yeah.
In those cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. The let's see, what would you call it? Was that the rocker?
Yeah,
would be the rocker.
yeah. The rocker, right, kind of where that front 2-door post sealed. Yeah, right in that area.
Inner rocker rust. What else? Oh boy, those cars are so freaking bulletproof. And the frame rails, because it's not, don't let the X-frame part of it freak you out. But the frame rails on those cars over the axle is prone, where it kicks up. I can't think of any. Those Chevy the front frame rails never have any issues.
No. Yeah.
The body mounts do.
Yeah. Yeah. Look for body mounts.
Yep. Yeah. Body mounts.
Repaired to the floor pan where the body bolts to the X-frame.
Yeah, and typically on those early Chevys, the only place I can really picture rust like typical is the rear part of the frame rails, like where it kicks up over the axle. Just go over, just get underneath there and just scrutinize the frame rails and the outer rockers on that car. You know what was really interesting? Did you ever see that crash test they did? They were trying to prove a point about new cars versus old cars, what's safe and what, you know. So they took an X-frame Chevy, I think it was like a 59 or a 60, okay? And they had another car hit it, like T-bone it in its vulnerable spot.
In the kidney there.
Right, yeah, exactly, right. So they hit this car, like this X-frame car, right in exactly the weak point of an X-frame car. And when he hits it, if you watch the crash that's happening, this giant thing of rust just blows, like rust dust, just blows out from underneath it. So it's like, yeah, the car came apart because it was rusted inside.
And there's no frame there.
Right, there's no frame left.
But that, and before you write the check, put it up on the lift. Take a good look.
Let's see. Barrows, A body, A pillar body mount. Yes. Right. That's on that Chevy. You're talking about the 64 Chevy. If the windshield gasket is split, it runs water right there and it sits and rusts. Yes. Marjorie Harvey. Yeah, me and the seller kind of already came to a deal. Just got to go down and look at it. Is there any tricks people pull to scam buyers that a newbie might overlook? Okay, if you're a newbie, Marjorie,
put the brakes on,
please. Yeah, listen, just stop. Okay, I don't want to. I want to like burst bubbles. Okay, you need to. If you're this new to this, you really need to stop and do some research. On this channel, I have done at least 20, 25 videos about classic cars, scammers, rip-off artists, cars that are like that are just doctored over. I'll tell you this much, okay? If you're buying a car from a private individual who does not sell cars, so let's say on Facebook, look at their profile and the things they have listed. If they don't sell cars, if there's a regular person like you or me or just regular people, you may stand a pretty good chance. If that person is in the business of selling classic or vintage cars, run away and hide. He may be honest, but there's a 90% chance that he's not.
He's more worried about it making a buck than making you happy.
Yes. I would put the brakes on this thing and I would do my research because it's way too easy to get burnt. So here's what you do, Marjorie. Send Kathy, okay, UncleTony'sGarage@gmail.com, okay? Send Kathy whatever information you have on that car, all right? And just put in the header, Tony told me to send this, okay? And let me look the car over for you real quick. I can only tell so much from pictures, but I can smell a rat when I see it. So I can let you know if it looks like something you may want to pursue. And maybe I'd give you some guidance on how to pursue it and not get completely.
Yeah, tread carefully.
Tread really carefully.
Because, you buy your dream car and it's a nightmare.
You've got two strikes against you. You're inexperienced, and these vultures know this, and you're a chick, and they count it as triple inexperienced, and they go after you even harder. Okay, so send it to Kathy. Send the pictures, the information on the car to Kathy, and I'll look it over.
On something on a car like that, if it's wrong, you'll never be right.
Yeah, Marjorie, you're getting a lot of good advice. I'm looking at the comments as I roll through, and you're getting a lot of good advice from these people. We have a lot of good people in this channel. You fall into a good community here This is your first time around. These guys will bend over backwards to give you the right deal, the right information and stuff.
Yeah, it is getting. I think it's gotten warmer in here since we turned the AC on.
It's freaking hot. That thing is doing nothing. Is the fan even on? I don't hear it. It usually makes a bunch of noise. It's not making any noise.
Yeah, every time you get close to it, it starts to oscillate, and then you go back. It's like blowing out to like here.
There's a fan speed thing.
Yeah.
Bill McKeisker, your reasoning for 2 doors rusting worse than 4 doors makes sense. Why though? Do the cab corners always rust first on trucks? I never really, really looked into that. Do I have a heat pump for winter? Yes.
You have a heat pump for summer?
Yeah, right now it's being a heat pump. Let's see. Clean the AC out. It's brand new. The system was installed in January. I'm sorry, January.
Yeah, this whole building.
The whole building didn't exist before.
So,
dinner time. Bacon wrapped stuffed jalapeno poppers.
Anthony Prudent. Tony, is there any hidden spots that I should check on the 72 satellite besides the rear
Hidden
window?
spots?
Yeah.
No, those cars are really, really solid. No, I can't. There's no. I mean, look, any damage can pop up in any hidden spot. I mean, I think your question is, does that particular car or that particular body have an area that's prone to damage? And I could tell you on a 71 and newer B body 4-door, no. Even the floors tend to be really good because again, see, 4 doors of sedans seal different than the 2 doors do. 2-door hardtop lets a lot of moisture in, and a 4-door sedan doesn't. So you tend to find even the floors, the interior floors, are generally better on those cars too. So, but you just gotta take each individual car on its own merits and scrutinize it.
Mm-hmm.
Close Cadaver, what was your favorite factory experimental car? Oh, I was going to do a live with Jeff Stunkard, and we still will. All right, what do you mean by what was my favorite factory experimental car? Because that's a loaded question. What do you mean by factory experimental car? Strictly the class, A factory experimental, B or C factory experimental, or are you talking about what happened after, like the 1964, 1965 era, where they morphed into the match race cars? And a lot of people confusingly call that, AFX or factory experimental. They weren't really factory experimental. That's where you get all of those like weird designations come in, like supercharged factory, SXF. So I don't know. Be more specific. I can probably answer that question.
And then you got another super chat.
Super chat. Thank you, Philip. I got a 2011 Road King with dual front brakes and one caliper decided to lock up when riding, then go back to normal after destroying the rotor. Any reason one caliper in a dual system would do that? It could be the hose. Okay, you might have a restriction in the hose. Did it lock up? Because if it locked up, you weren't riding that bike. But if it was dragging
and not releasing,
hose. Yeah, you'll drive it. It'll get super hot, super fast. You really only have 2 possibilities because a common master cylinder, single line out with a splitter. So you really only have 2 possibilities with that, and that would be the hose, the inside restriction on the hose. It's not allowing the fuel to bleed back up, or the puck in the caliper is slightly cocked. Those are really your only 2 choices with something like that. If it had anything to do with the master cylinder, both would. Yeah. Barracuda 64 Dodge Ram Chargers. Is that the sort of thing he meant? I don't know. I don't know. Jeff Hutchins, four-door cars usually aren't abused as much, just like two-wheel drive trucks are generally in better condition than four-wheel drive. And the abuse has nothing to do with rust, and stuff like that. Structural rust issues, and it has nothing to do with abuse or anything. But yeah, in general, yes, four doors are treated more gently than twos.
Well, here's Sub-Zero. Installing pressed pistons on the rods. One of them feels tight, doesn't flop around like the others. Is that okay?
Are you a perfectionist? Because if you're a perfectionist, the kind of person who will forever, you'll put this engine together and it'll always be haunting you that, oh, this pin is a little on the tight side, then no, it's not good.
If it moves,
if you're a mechanic and you've built 1,000, regular street engines that just, go down the road, you won't even think twice about it. You just send it. It'll loosen up as it goes along. Cagito Gravero. Oh, God. Do I prefer spoked or mag wheels on his bike, tubed or tubeless? I used to be a purist, man. Spokes meant it's got out spoke wheel, right? There's only one. Oh, until I built, but okay. On my regular bikes, there's only one spoke wheel in my entire thing, and it's on the front of my my '99 Custom, and that's it. That's the only spoked wheel I want because I don't want to deal with tubes anymore. I'm done. I'm just done. My days of no, just done. So yeah, I prefer tubeless now, right? Cast wheels and tube.
But you get your dirt bikes get spoked.
But that's different. That's different. That has to have spoke wheels.
Yeah. Otherwise, they would just break.
Yeah.
KW, what was the history of the old 403? Was it ever a performance engine? I know it was offered in the Trans Am.
History of the 403. So, is it okay? So, where did the 403 come from? It would be that's the second generation Oldsmobile V8. Original size. Oh God, you caught me on a bad night. I can't really access that information right now, but other people can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Scarlet Fire. The old 403 and the Trans Am were automatics only. Ponchos 400s were the stick shifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not really a Pontiac 403. It's a Trans Am 403, but Oldsmobile engine.
Rust Peter Derelicts. Is 1960 XNR Roadster or 67 Dioria? Oh, I'd have to take the XNR. Dr. Art, 62 Mustang Mach 1 concept or Mustang 1 concept.
It was pretty cool. It looked like the Speed Racer car without the M on the
Right,
front end.
right.
Yeah.
That's probably where they got it from. But I know what you.
Yeah. I'd like to have that car just to cruise it around, just because it's different.
They probably make kit bodies.
I don't want to build one.
Oh,
Done that.
We're both too old. We're too old to be doing this.
I know.
Barracuda, why did super stock drag cars usually have the mag wheels on the front but steel wheels on the back? Trying to get as much weight off the front as possible and not being so much concerned with weight on the back. You had a 403 and it was a dog. Yes, they were very, very, very soft engines.
We're doing 103 trying to get a look at a 70 Boss 302 Mustang that passed us. It was gone. No way we could get anywhere near it. No, if it had the big, it had those big Cleveland heads on that 302, that thing would breathe forever. You're never going to catch it.
Nancy Hooligan. Oops. This was your content. Sorry, guys. We've got trolls. I love the trolls.
Yeah. We haven't really had. I mean, that's been the last few weeks. Are really. I mean, that's really the only real troll that I noticed.
Which one? Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to have trolls. It's fun.
I love them. I think it's entertaining. You know,
it is. It's like, what is this whacked out person's thought process?
Have
Yeah.
Have you noticed the one thing all trolls have in common? They can't spell or punctuate.
No.
It's always.
It's the medication. It's you know. It's like a stutter, but with their fingers.
The troll mentality goes hand in hand
with
like basic illiteracy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Do you guys know anything about the 430 Mercury that had 400 horsepower in 1958?
The Mel, no, I can't think of any. No, it didn't have 400 horsepower in 1958. It's an L engine, your Mercury Lincoln Edsel on Edsel Lincoln, which a lot of people don't realize that's not the same line as like the FEs. Ford always had to have multiple things going on, overlapping, right?
Weird shit and compartmentized, and
yeah. But no, I seriously doubt it was rated at 400 horsepower in 1958. Barry could have thought trolls lived under bridges and on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Here's David Musselwhite. Tony, question: if I bore a block 30 over, can I use 20 over pistons with 30 over rings?
I do it all the time. Yes. Yeah. We talked about this before. I like engines loose. I like them to just snap. You hit the throttle. Wing! That's a big deal to me. I like that, right? So the 10 over margin is something that the factory goes by. If you look at, we talked about this already.
Yeah.
If you open up the factory specification, the service manual for any of these engines from this period of time, I'm not talking about modern engines. I'm talking about engines from the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s. If you look at the service manual, the big clearance, right, the maximum piston and wall clearance is always presumed to be a 10 over cylinder with a standard bore piston. This was from the factory. So when I have, let's say I'm doing an engine, and I've got a set of 30 over pistons for it. When I send that motor to the machine shop, I tell them go 38 to 40 over, right? You know, the tight side of 40. And so that will give you that same clearance that the factory would recommend on the loosest side. Just like crankshafts. When I send a crankshaft out to be cut, if it's going to be 10-10, I tell them go 11-11 because I like that extra oil clearance. Right? And this is just me, and I would not build an engine for somebody else that way. I'm talking about motors that I put together for myself.
Okay. I have 3 huge paper wasp nests underneath my awning. What do you suggest I do? They've never bothered me. Then leave them alone. Put out some water for them and leave them alone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Look up Vietnamese wasp recipes. I bet you they go good with ramen. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, chocolate covered bees and ramen.
Yeah, they all have a lot of stuff like that. Yeah. Shoehorn Jackson is saying the Super Marauder produced 400 horsepower, 5,200 RPM, and 500 pounds-foot of torque at 3,200 in 1958. Are you sure? Well, you know, okay, maybe.
Well, if you're putting 500 foot-pounds in a freaking Edsel, it's not going to go anywhere anyway.
That's the dual quad engine that they put in the the Turnpike Cruisers.
Yeah. The big giant.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? Listen, I'm going to take that back. All right, because I'm kind of half familiar with that. And yeah, all right. That's a dual quad motor that they produced in 1958. Mercury did, and yeah, okay, maybe it did make 400 horsepower. You're right. I was wrong. Jeff Hutchins is saying train the wasps to be guard wasps. Very effective.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliance. That's brilliance.
Windsor Will, Uncle Tia, have a 76 Dodge Tioga 2 RV that has a 318. Any info on this oddball engine, different water pump, and heads?
No, the 318.3 is a production casting, generally found in trucks, but there's nothing unique about that block. The marine and industrial 318s have different cylinder heads, different water jacket, or not water jackets on the block, different water pumps, housings, and all of that. But there's really nothing unusual about the engine itself. It's going to have a steel crank in it. And that's really about it. It's the same as regular 318 of that vintage. Yes, Todd. I know somebody already corrected me on that, and I agree. Yes, that was a 400 horsepower motor in a 5,800 pound car. But that's
right.
Yeah. They were beautiful. You ever see one of those Turnpike cruisers?
Oh yeah, they're gorgeous.
It's just so excessive. Everything is so excessive.
Yeah. And you sit in one and you're like, hey, over there on the other side of the car.
Yep. So, have you fired up Big Richard yet?
No.
What are you waiting for, man?
The Sonnet to stop.
Okay, I agree.
So, actually, because I did a video last week on it, that did very well. Thank you, people. And I'm hoping it looks like Sunday. Should be a nice day to get out there and make another video on that thing, because I got all these pieces, parts that I've been collecting that need to go on.
Well, we know when you're going to fire it up. Come on.
Yeah.
Anthony Perna does that. Having the extra 1,000 clearance on the crank hurt oil pressure that much in idle. I shoot for between like 10 and 12 pounds on a regular engine, right? I shoot for 10 to 12 pounds hot idle. You need 7 pounds to support hydraulic lifters. This is on a Mopar. You need a minimum of 6 or 7 pounds to support the hydraulic lifters. 10, 12 pounds hot idle, in gear. That's all I'm looking for. And yeah, you never have a problem like that.
Rodney Hargis, I wish there was a way to send photos here, just saying. Well, you know what? Conveniently, on Monday nights, I didn't do one last Monday night because I was out of town. But on Monday Night Live on my channel,
yes,
viewers send in pictures to the Gmail. We share them with everyone.
Yes, every Monday night, 7 o'clock, except this last, right?
Right.
Yes, Dr. Art does his live on his channel, Dr. Art's Hot Rod Rehab, and you guys send in pictures of your cars, and he goes over the cars. And have you had anybody send you pictures of a car they probably shouldn't have sent?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
No.
Okay.
The best one so far was a guy, I can't remember who it was, but I think it was somebody here. He sent me a picture of his next project car, which is basically a firewall from a 41 Willys laying on the ground. He's like, "Here's my new car."
Dude, I built my first Hemi, my first 426 Hemi.
Mm-hmm.
I was 20 years old. Okay, we lived in a studio apartment in they used to call it Little Israel. I mean, landlord was a rabbi, and I was the token goy in the neighborhood. And on Friday afternoon, I was like,
Tony, come turn the lights on.
Turn the lights off, right? So I could get away with so much. Like, you know what I mean? They were like, okay, we need this guy, right? So
right.
I got away with all kinds of shit. So I went to the swap meet, Englishtown swap meet, and I needed a Hemi. I just wanted a Hemi in the worst possible way. And I met this guy named George Batiste, old black guy he had a super stock Hemi Cooties to street race in New York. And he was like, if you want a Hemi, you're not going to be happy until you get a Hemi. And I was like, you're right, George, right? So I went to the swap meet, and I bought an intake manifold. I just bought a 426 Hemi intake manifold. And
put it on the shelf and stared at it.
I brought it home, okay, and I put it. I had a space next to the couch, and I put it on the floor next to the couch.
Okay.
And Kathy says, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And I says, "I am going to grow a Hemi from that." And she's like, "You're an idiot," because that's that's what you're supposed to be, right?
Yeah. When you're 20 years old, yeah.
Within 6 months,
There was
a complete 426 Hemi sitting next to my couch.
So you just reach over, put your drink on it, and yeah.
Well, then I put it in. I was going to put it in my charger, and I realized no, the charger's too heavy, so I scrapped the charger, and I put it in a '68 Roadrunner. And then I wanted a dragster, so I went in a dragster, and then I wanted to burn nitro, so I was like, bye. So I get that firewall thing. You're going to build a car? Fine. Throw the firewall on the ground where you're going to build this car, and say, from that I will grow a car. And you do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Pick one, my.
Well, that's what they're all kind of talking to each other.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. How did you get the Roadrunner in the house?
Oh, I did. It was in the driveway. There's Kathy Bananas. I did not say that.
What actually did you say, Kathy? What select words did you have for? There you go. Tony, I have a '68 Rambler. Can't afford an AMC V8, but I have a Buick 455 and a Richmond 5-speed keeping the AMC 20 with a 315 gear for topping out thoughts. Yes.
Dude, that's so yes. Like, that's exactly
That's
the
not
kind
even
of
the
car.
question. Yeah.
That's exactly the kind of car you geek out over. Yeah, absolutely, man. Do it. 455 5-speed in a '68 Rambler.
That's yeah, because the 455 is not going to rev. So all the good gears, you get them go from power band to power band at 5,000 RPM, and with the 315 gears, oh yeah, then all of a sudden you're doing $140. Yes.
Kathy's saying, I said okay. I never would be around if I hadn't. It's true. She put up with stuff, boy. She paid her dues. Stephen View, my engine stand bent like a banana when I found out the Dress 345 Turbo International Harvester is 1,000 pounds. Oh, jeez.
Well, yeah, that's what I got. I got 2 engine stands. I got a normal one. Then I got that real big heavy duty one you can hang a 6-cylinder Cummins off of.
Oof, okay.
Yeah.
I never saw it.
It's I had Big Richard's motor on it.
Okay.
But it's so wide and so long, it's a pain in the ass to get the engine from the cherry picker onto the engine hoist because the legs are the cherry picker like this. And
Yeah.
It's not like a T in little bars. It's like a big horseshoe steel.
I'm familiar. Okay.
So you need a bigger one.
I always put a block with if I had to do something like an iron Hemi, which is like 700 and like a complete dress motor is like 780 pounds. When you put everything together, always put a 2x4 under the damper
to hold it in place. Yeah, when it's sitting there. Yeah.
A 55 5-speed and a Gremlin would be even better. No, those Ramblers, 68 Ramblers, that's such a distinctive old car. I'm sorry, the Gremlin is very distinctive, but it's not beautiful. The 68 Rambler is beautiful. Let's see.
Okay, Eric Schwensen. Good evening from Georgetown, Delaware. Uncle Tony, my first Mopar memory that I had was when I was a kid riding in my mom's 77 Dodge Aspen 225 slant 6 car. What is your opinion of these cars?
They're great. They're great. I mean, I haven't done any F body stuff. Those are called F bodies. I haven't done anything really F body related on this channel. I can't think. I don't think I have. But it's not because I don't have anything. I have anything against them. I just haven't had any cross my path since, since we started doing.
They're a nice driving, running car. It's just their styling is very unfortunate.
Some would say. Some would say.
Some.
The Volare Roadrunner was actually a pretty good looking car.
Oh, with all the
spoiler
stripes and the spoiler and the wheels.
Yeah, and the RT. Right? No, some of them are actually pretty good looking cars. But the basic styling, he's right. The basic styling is it's Malaise era, right? The two things about those cars, right? If you're into like a driving car, okay, nothing handles as good as no other Mopar body handles as good as those F bodies. And part of the reason for that is it's got transverse torsion bars. So like on the all of the traditional Mopar bodies, A, B, C, D, E, F, up to F, A, B, C, D, E, they have inline torsion bars. So the torsion bars run front to back. Okay. And beginning on the F bodies, those Aspens and Volares, the torsion bars go a little bit and then they cross over each other at the front. So if you're building something with headers, whoa, it's the ultimate. It's you have all the room in the world, right? And very easy, makes them very easy to work on. Height adjustments and everything are very easy. You don't have to climb under the car and do all kinds of shit. So they have a lot of good things going for them. They're excellent driving cars. They're still relatively cheap. The early ones were rust prone, like 1976 first year. There was some issues. I don't recall what they were, where those cars were literally rusting in the showroom floor. And that's one of the things where they got a bad name. But they fixed that issue. They're really good cars. They're really good cars. Bicycle cops.
We missed something about bicycle cops. And
Yeah.
Just going with it.
Justin Blodgett, putting an L-Box 650 on a 318 board 30 over because it's what I had. Pretty stock. Otherwise, am I going to have huge problems? I'm not going to have any problems at all.
No, it's going to run good.
Yeah, just drop it on there. Go. Be happy. Let's see. Rodney Hargis saying his mom had a Volare, a 70 Volare, maybe an 80 Volare. They started building them in 76. Changed the starter when I was a young kid. What a feeling of accomplishment. I think that's older guys, that's such a common thing with your first job. The first job you get to do in the car is starter. Mine was a starter on my cousin Lisa's Pinto. And then I did a cam job.
You could just reach in and
Yeah. And then I did a starter on my father's Mustang. I was probably 12 or 13. And it was like
your father drove a Ford?
Yeah. He had a 66 Mustang. He
drove
to and from Manhattan. It was his
work
car.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Mark Suave, my first job was a water pump on a Mercury Monarch 302. Yeah.
And the first time he took it apart, he's like, why are all the bolts different lengths, Dad? And why are they in no particular geometric pattern?
That's a tough job for a beginner. And Ford, they attached everything to the water pump.
Yes.
I had my first shop was in, I guess it was 1982, 1983. And I had my buddy Louis Scum working with me. And I made him the Ford water pump guy.
Because it's all the bolts, all the brackets, it's a freaking nightmare.
At the time, like half the cars on the road were like, Thunderbirds and
there was 3 cars: Chryslers, Chevys, and Fords.
But the Fords all had like you had to do anything on a water pump or a timing chain or anything like that. It was a nightmare. The Chryslers were snapped. Most of the General Motors were snapped. The Fords, forget about it. All of those long, skinny bolts, and everything attached,
different sizes. Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm just not going to do these. And he was my. Actually, I brought him on to work with me because I didn't want to work on the front of Fords anymore. And so
every time a Ford rolled in, there you go.
Mark Suave laughing his ass off. I took the bolts out of the old pump, placed them in the right holes on a new pump. There you go.
He's smarter than most.
But you remember, you got all those brackets. Ford put brackets on top. They put brackets to support the brackets to support the support brackets for everything, and it all attached to the freaking water pump. I hated those things.
And 3 different drive belts.
Yes, and then there's the one that just doesn't come out.
Right.
And wrecks your whole friggin' day.
And they put the easiest one is the one way in the back where you take everything off to get to it. Yeah. Done that. Played that game.
Yeah, Torino Elite. That's what I'm saying. The water pump bolts look shear up.
Snap. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
You get the others out and pull the whole damn thing off, and
you learn finesse. That's probably where I learned the concept of finesse.
The little,
right? Yeah. Just work it back and forth. Right.
Work it back to
just work it back and forth.
This will save me hours later.
if you got to sit there for an hour just going like this, it's fine. Just do that. That's probably also where I got my because I have this thing about using power tools on engines. Like it's like I justify it by saying, and I believe that I actually believe this, and I justify it by saying that I want to feel every bolt.
Yeah, you use your speed wrench.
Right.
Yeah.
But I really, if you stop and you think about it, it probably comes from exactly using an air ratchet on
Fords to get the water pump up.
Right.
Zing, zing, zing.
Exactly. Every zing is another 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, you can pick your car up tomorrow. It won't be done. I'll just be still here working on it.
Mauser Mutt 90, and I'm 30. My first at 12 was an oil pan in a 2000 Plymouth Breeze 2-liter because I poked a hole into Mom's car driving in the field. That was a common thing. Those Chrysler, the 22s, those cars had very vulnerable oil pans.
Yeah, because it was kind of like an angle and down and pointed forward, like, here, hit me.
Right, exactly. And there were so many of those things. The used car dealers loved those. They would buy them with bad engines, quote, bad engines. Mm-hmm. So what would happen was poke an oil pan, and then it would spin a rod bearing. The motor would lock up.
Mm-hmm.
It never did damage. They had the crank it was a good forged steel crank in there.
Oh, right? So you just pull it down, put bearings in it, and
exactly, yeah, bearings and an oil pump, and then not an oil pump, a oil pan, and send it.
Gone.
Yeah. Look,
Corey. Oh, Craig. I'm sorry.
Hey, Greg. You could answer that.
Yeah. Chevy 327 was badass. Why did the 350 replace it?
Why did the 350 replace it?
Because they could make it bigger. A 350 sounds better in advertising than a 327.
That's about it. The
new Chevy 350 cubic inch engine. Yeah. Bigger than Ford, bigger than Chrysler. That kind of thing.
Andrew Button is saying 350 replaces 327 because long-stroke engines have less hydrocarbons. I don't know if that's true or not.
Could be.
The 350, when was the first year for the 350? It was...
Oh, God.
67.
Yeah.
Right? And the 350 was the first of the large journal engines. Or did they build a big journal 327?
Not that I recall.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Dr. Art's probably closer to accurate than everybody wanted the next, you're going to sell next year's model.
What are we going to do to
Bigger
sell?
engine.
We're going to sell more Malibus.
Yeah.
Put in a 350 now, a 327. Everybody traded their 327s to get a 350, which
Yep.
made 6 more horsepower. But I have a 350 now.
And then it went the other way. It went the opposite way. Because then you get into the late 70s, early 80s gas crunch era, and they started making engines unreasonably small.
Right.
Right?
The new 2-liter Chevettes. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like what was it? The 255 Ford?
Yeah.
The V8.
Right.
They shrunk it down. Which
nothing swaps into it. It's its own.
Nothing swaps into it, and there's no fuel economy benefit to it because the little thing has to work harder than its 302. But you're selling the idea. Oh, it's the smallest V8.
We are saving the planet with a smaller engine. Yes.
Right. So it's like, why does anybody do anything? I don't even really know.
Yeah.
I guess 68. Anthony Rowland was saying first year for the 350.
Mm-hmm. Big Journal 327 was
60 and older, right? Okay.
Yes. Okay. The longer stroke engines burn cleaner.
Andrew Button is saying yes, they did.
Mm-hmm.
1968 was a large Journal 302 and a 227. The reason the long stroke engines burn cleaner is the sweep of the piston going down the block leaves less unburned fuel. That doesn't make any sense at all. Maybe you can make a case with dwell time, because you're talking about rod ratio. You're not talking about long stroke, short stroke. You're talking about rod ratio, and the main factor with rod ratio is dwell time and piston acceleration past TDC and closing to the bottom TDC. I just saw something recently on one of the more known channels. I wanted to comment on it. Oh God, I don't remember the details. But they were talking about piston speed, rod ratio, and piston speed, and they were like the shorter rod gives you greater speed through the sweep, right, from top to bottom.
Okay.
But it doesn't. The piston speed halfway down the stroke, right? So the piston speed 90 degrees past the top dead center is directly tied to crankshaft RPM. It never changes regardless of rod ratio.
Right.
The only thing that changes is acceleration rate away from TDC and deceleration rate to BDC.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, as it's going down and coming up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, Stephen Vale, I had a Cutlass Sierra with a 3800. Yeah, 3800 is an awesome engine. 400,000 miles with no rebuild. I believe that. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And probably no maintenance either. Those engines were fantastic. Scoop is talking about the 383 stroker. Is a 350 with a 400 crank, and yes, it's not different rods; it's different pistons.
For street and dragging, what's the best Ford engine for nitrous?
You're the Ford guy.
That's such a big question. If you got unlimited nitrous and you don't care about a little bit of extra weight in the beginning, put a 460 in it. It'll eat a 200 shot like it's Cheerios. But you put a 200, you go a little past the 200 shot in a 302, and you may get extra parts you don't want.
Yeah. Well, you start with one block and you end up with two.
Yeah, 2 4-cylinders. Yeah.
Let's see. Wow. Look at the time. It's flying tonight.
It is. When you're in a Turkish steam room, the time goes by.
It's like a Turkish sauna. Split the block down the middle. Yep.
Yep. Done it.
Crank saddles made out of potato chips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they would just vibrate and twing.
Marjorie Harvey. Where can I send a few? That's the girl with the
Yeah,
64.
with the 60. Yeah, the Impala, yeah.
I really do like those cars a lot. Where can I send a few pictures for you to see if it's a decent deal or if I should run up my wallet? Well, I can. Marjorie, Uncle Tony's Garage at gmail.com. Right? Uncle Kathy's watching right now. Kathy Bananas. She's home observing this as we speak. So send the pictures to her. And when I get home, she'll show them to me. Ross Peter Derelicts, watch the video of a guy that does 250 shots on things like 3-cylinder Geo Metro, Prius, etc. The results were spectacular in a bad and entertaining way. That's, why don't we do that? I got all these nitrous bottles sitting over here. Why don't we just take random things and spray them?
Okay.
Let's do that. What do we have that we could just send?
What do you want to blow up?
Let's see how much nitrous that Chinese bike will take.
Oh yeah. Just get out and hold the throttle. I'll just crack the bottle. No.
I don't want to kill it. If it dies in the process, fine. But I don't want to just deliberately kill it. But I would like to creep up on it and see what we can get away with.
Oh, so you actually want to put a jet in the nitrous? Just don't want to crack the bottle?
No, let's put a jet in it.
Oh, and like just a dry shot. How much dry shot it can take?
Well, no, we could set up for a wet. Oh God. And nitrous. Oh, dude. Okay.
A wet nitrous China bike?
Yeah, I think I got some solenoids.
Okay, I got a.
I know you got one.
I know I have a gas solenoid. I got the dry solenoid on the Ranger, but yeah.
Let's spray a China bike and see what it'll take.
Yes.
Okay. Anthony Rowland, controversial statement time. I'm no stranger to that.
Okay.
I don't trust solid rollers for street engines or the Chevy 400 block in general. Yeah, the Chevy 400 block has gotten a bad rap just because of the Siamese cylinders, the steam holes. People are like, no, they're fine. People make all kinds of power with the damn things. You don't trust solid rollers for street engines. What's not to trust? I mean, as long as you stay on top of lash adjustments.
Yeah, and it's a roller. It's not going to, And it's going to rev to the moon. It's going to be fun.
Jamie from Dead Dodge Garage is still hanging around here.
Hi, Jamie.
For some reason, I spent my day tuning and fixing a 1981 Rabbit convertible, so I'm off for a test run. That sounds like cool.
Nice.
That sounds cool. All right. I'll see you. Jamie, also, you guys, you're addicted to lives. If you're addicted to lives, every Sunday night, he does one that overlaps hours. So we start at 7 Central. He starts at 8 Central. And then we finish at 9 Central, and he goes until 10. So overlapping lives. And then, of course, Dr. Art's live every Monday night at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Yes. And then isn't there another tech live that happens on Wednesdays?
Is there?
Bill McKayska, thank you for the super chat. Spray the XJ so you have an excuse to finish the stroker motor. Oh. If my shoulder wasn't as jacked up as it is right now, it's getting a little bit better. And I was like, yeah, I'll rip the motor out of that thing. Give me a little time, because like right now I'm hesitant to do anything that's very like mechanically involved.
Spray the swinger before you sell it.
Oh no, I don't want to do that. I want it to go away quietly. Uncle Tony's Garage is going to become Whistling Diesel in no short order. Let's see. Stephen View, the 400 is just a 350 on Viagra. It's not actually. It's a different block. It's a completely different casting. Jesse Gore says, do spark plugs on a 5.4. Why don't we try to blow the spark plugs out of a 5.4
with nitrous?
With nitrous.
Yes. assuming you could shoot through the roof, through the hood panel.
Alan Schilderoth, I could not throw for 3 years after I tore my rotator. Yeah, please. I know. This is a reoccurring thing. Every mechanic. It's a reoccurring thing. It lasts bad. It's bad for a month or so, and then it starts to ease up. And after about 3 or 4 months, as long as you don't, that's why Uncle Kathy Bananas is always like, "Do you want aspirin for that?" I'm like, no, it's the worst thing you could possibly do. Because if you have aspirin, the reason your body makes things hurt is because it's telling you that's the limit. Don't go any further than that. So if you deaden the pain, you automatically go past the limit and increase the damage. It takes twice as long to heal when you use crutches like that. So yeah.
Okay, we got a technical question.
Yes.
From the Wolves. Uncle Tony, technical question. I've been reading up about Ford's new technology on cylinder lining. It's called plasma bore. Have you have an opinion on that? It's not new.
So, okay.
Yeah.
You go back. So like so they've used silicone. They've used Nicocel. There's a lot of different electronically sprayed on or electronically altered surfaces. That they've been doing this in production cars on and off with varying degrees of success since the late 60s, right? The Vega.
Yeah.
Right. The Vega had silicone impregnated cylinder walls.
Basically, yeah, entire aluminum engine with spray for cylinder walls.
Yeah. And from a success standpoint, like Japanese bikes, they use a process called Nicocel. And so I don't think it's a bad idea. You know, and there's lots of cases where it works, but I don't think Ford has anything particularly interesting or new with that. Liberace wants to lube his engine. I don't lube my own.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Fair saying Nicocel sucked oil burn galore on preludes. It may not be successful on automotive engines, but on air-cooled motorcycle engines, it definitely works. Danny Boyd is saying Vegas were shipped by rail standing on their noses or suspended to appear that way. No, they literally were. They actually had, what was it called now? There was they built a rail car.
That took them in.
Yeah.
Like toast.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Like slices of bread in a toaster. A lot of the production features on the Vega were specifically done because of the way they were shipped. They had, and I don't recall what they were, but there's like a list of like 5 or 6 different things that were specifically done to the Vega just so that they could ship them in that upright position.
In the upright rail car, yeah.
Yeah, Vertipack. Yeah, Andrew Button, Vertipack. Mm-hmm. Do you remember, Andrew? Do you remember what the production differences were, or the changes they made specifically for that? Barry Cootie, you can't crosshatch Nicocel. You're not supposed to. You don't have to. Wait. You can crosshatch it, but it has to be done in an extremely fine hone. Nicocel cylinder will only work with like a steel ring. I don't know if you could use a Molly ring. Can you use a Molly? I don't know. But it's a stainless ring that they use with the Nicocel cylinder bore. And it is crosshatch, but it's an extremely, extremely fine crosshatch. Like if you tried to get in there and just like hone it, like, you take Cousin Earp's dingle ball and you go, no, you destroyed the engine. Sean Davison, unless you nick the cylinder coating, Nicocel was great. It's no different than any other cylinder wall. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something. You get a nick in the cylinder wall, there's two things, two of the biggest phobias people have, right, that are generally unfounded. A nick in the cylinder wall, especially under the oil ring, and nicks in the crankshaft, right? Those things, as the engine is running, fill with oil. And for all intents and purposes, they're sealed. The only problem you have is when you've got, the only time you'll ever have an issue with that is when that nick crosses beyond the boundaries of rings. Right, and it has to be vertical. You have a nick that goes this way, it's generally no problem. The ring just sweeps right past it. Vertical nicks are a problem because then they'll share pressures from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we proved you can take a.
We did.
We proved this beyond a shadow of a doubt.
What was the name of that video?
To Kill a Predator.
To Kill a Predator. So don't those have a nick cylinder?
That's just aluminum.
Just aluminum. Okay. Yeah, we took one of his Predator 212s and got in there with a grinder, okay, and just gouged the hell out of it, up and down, around,
sideways,
all kinds of damage. Yeah, and then we fixed it with JB weld. We just took JB weld, just stuck it in there, and then honed it. He reassembled the engine, and
it's still running to this day. The new owners love the thing, and it's. You know, I hopped it up a little with a little cam timing, nice coil, and you know, and a little header, and yeah, that motor just as happy as yeah.
Fixing gouge up cylinders with JB weld. Willfly, stainless steel rings are more resistant to locking up running dry from lack of oil. Early Japanese imports used them, and I have heard countless stories of people unlocking their motors. Well, the common thing was like the Kawasaki two-strokes, the triples. The center cylinder would run hotter than the others, and the engine would lock up. So you always have to jet the center cylinder on a triple. Always has to be jetted substantially fatter than the outers. It helps. It keeps the temperature down in that cylinder. And those would lock up, and you could free them up pretty easily. I can't think of any other instance where it was common for an early Japanese import to lock up like that. Mark Swap, what's your sketchiest fix? The sketchiest fix in the racing days. The sketch. I've told the story before. I'll tell just the quick condensed version. 1991 Mopar Parts Nationals in Englishtown. We were running funny car. We had the Twilight Zone funny car. We ran the car's 3 best passes ever. They were all in the 570 range, like 575, 570, whatever the hell it was. It was the best cars, best runs ever. Last run of the last qualifying session, Saturday night, baffles in the oil pan broke loose and at the finish line. So the motor slowed down through the traps with no oil pressure. So when we got it back to the pits, it had torn every main out of the engine, like no mains in the engine, gone. Not just the bearing, but also the metal around it. So we had John Force first round, and all we needed to do to get paid that day was $6,500. All we needed to do to get paid was do some kind of burnout, stage, and when the light turns green, break the beam, and then that's it. $6,500. So overnight, we cut up soda cans and epoxied the soda cans into the block. We JB welded them into the block. Then JB welded bearings to the soda cans, to the pop cans, put the crank in it, another crank, obviously, and put it all together and sent it, right? But remember now, the whole thing was just do the burnout, meaning like run it into the water, go, right, just so the tires spin like that, bring it up to the start line, and when the light turns green, just break the beam. That's all you have to do, break the beam. So Bobby Lagana was driving this car. We had John Force in the first round. So Bobby lost his head, okay? The only thing I can tell you is the guy just lost his head because when the tree turns green, he actually got out on force. And you can see this if you find videos of this online. He actually got out on force. But instead of like letting it go, right, knowing that you got a bomb sitting there, he decided to leg it, and it went out 300 feet, threw the crankshaft on the ground. Just threw it on the ground. It's the simplest way to fucking say it. And burned the car to the ground, destroyed everything. So, but that was just my sketchiest repair from the racing days. Have you ever done anything like that?
Not to that extreme, but yeah, I've done some sketchy shit to get cars down the road. Yeah.
Any particular one come to mind?
I'll think of it in a minute. But,
Okay.
I mean, back in the day when the Pintos would throw the rocker arms off them because the cam was all plugged up with no oil anymore.
Yeah.
Take the valve cover over, pack it with grease, put them little rockers back on, and right to the auction. It runs across the stage. You get paid. Thank you.
Liberace saying he's having trouble with his 1901 Renault Type D. Sounds like dying horse. I think something in the exhaust. I don't know. It's a long, hard pipe. I'm afraid of it. I would be afraid of it too, bro.
Yeah.
1901. How many people has the thing? I've had that over the years. What are your odds of it being haunted? Extremely good, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would be freaked out by that myself, bro. Let's see, dude. We only have 4 minutes left.
And only 122 thumbs.
Just 122 thumbs up. No, dude, we have no popularity. Nobody loves us.
No,
There's no love.
No.
Okay, fine. Yeah, we'll deal with it. Oh wait, somebody just did a little thumbs up with a 123. It's getting better. Oh, 131. It's getting better. It's raising my spirits. Oh, nice.
The spirit of.
You've given me the will to shave.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Kim fixes the Kim, you ran out of content? Come on, you got stuff all over there.
You got a whole yard full of stuff. Rip the engine out of that Ranger, put it in your little Bronco. It's okay. And get that thing back on the road.
All right. So what do you have coming up on your channel?
Hopefully Sunday we'll do another Big Richard video if the weather pattern looks like it, able to get out in the garage, probably earlier in the morning.
Okay.
And go over the new fuel system I got for it, which I'm kind of excited about, which would be nice. Yeah.
Great content. I mean,
and then if the weather really holds, then I have to cut and weld my own battery box and make that and fit that kind of in a custom way. It's all in the head. It's all there, but it's just been too hot to do that. So
where are you putting the battery?
Up front on the driver's side between the radiator housing and it's where it should be. But you look online for a D100 battery box, and they're like $147 for this half rusted piece. I'm like, no, I'll just make one out of scrap for nothing.
Brennan Hart, real quick, the last question. Guys, I want to know your thoughts on putting used whiplash roller cam and lifters in a stock 440 and a daily driver truck. Yes, I have experience with the used whiplash grinds, and I highly recommend them. I thought they were goofy when I first heard about it, right? This is on way back when. I thought it was the goofiest thing in the world. It'll sound like it's got a race man. No, right? I was like, this is just a joke. But then I actually tried a couple of them, and I'm a believer. Those guys are brilliant over there. And that cam, the whiplash line, 100%. I wasn't hesitating a second to recommend it. All right, so.
Okay.
And then, of course, Monday night, 7 o'clock Central. Yep. Got Dr. Live, Dr. Live in the house. Dr. Live. Yeah, we need to create a new thing. Dr. Live.
Dr. Live. AM 690, Dr. Live.
Yeah, that's so. We should do a radio. We should do an outlaw radio, a bootleg, a pirate radio station. So yeah, his channel, 7 o'clock Central Time. Dr. Art's Hot Rod Rehab. Send in pictures of your cars and
share it with your friends.
He's very easily impressed. So send pictures of whatever you've got to him. Don't send them to me because I don't even look at the mail. I'm neurotic recluse.
And we also may do, because I did 2 this week, and I got 3 computers coming this week, so I may do another computer tuning video.
Computer tuning. He's doing Chryslers. He's going to the Jeeps and everything. The JTEC. He's
we got
all about that now.
The Jeeps are paying the bills right now.
Yes. So me, I'm done. I ran out of content months ago. I'm just done. I'm just done. If there's a video from me tomorrow or the next day, it'll be a small miracle, to tell you the truth. But that's it. Our mods, Mexican Spec. Ari was here for a while. Zero, Fubar. Fubar is always in and out. Guys, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate everything that you do. Everybody contributed with Super Chat. Thank you. It pays for this nonsense that we do. Right? And everybody who contributed with your presence and your conversation, thank you equally. We are eternally grateful for you guys, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be able to. I would have to go deliver pizza at this stage of the game. I'm not qualified to do anything else.
That's not a bad gig. I did that when I was 16. It's like the best job I ever had. Everything went downhill from there.
I'm not qualified for it. I'm hardcore unemployable. I mean, there's really nothing I can do. DoorDash. I have to go do DoorDash. Wouldn't that suck? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want a sandwich? You want to talk about 426 any main website?
Yeah.
No, go away.
Go away.
So, all right. So, yes, that's it, guys. I'm gonna hit the go away button, and
We're gonna go away.
And we're done. We're done. Good night, all. Thank you.